What is good, fellow no ones? I'm your friend, Dr. No One. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over a artist by the name of Jars Drawings. Please go check them out on Instagram after this video. Today I'll be going over 3 of her works, known as Rampant Rapunzel, Elongated Elmo, and Immovable Mojo Jojo, the Monolith Mind. I'm going to start with Rampant Rapunzel. Rampant Rapunzel, the forlorn, she was cursed with everlasting life, to be isolated in a tower until her true love came for her rescue. Nightly, her wailing could be heard in kingdoms afar, as she beckoned for her promised Prince Charming. She waited and waited, patience outlasting generations of kings and queens. But to no avail. Eventually, her cries became naught but the whistle of the wind and the makings of a legend. The forgotten princess, trapped in a cloud-bound tower. The passing years took its toll on her, and she grew as time-worn and decrepit as her broken, despondent heart. One day, once upon a time, her call was answered. She craned her elongated neck downward to gaze below, spine outstretched from the pull of gravity and the weight of her burdens. There, a figure stood atop a neighboring pillar, who loudly proclaimed the words that brought tears to her eyes. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair. Next, I will be going over one of his other works by the name of Elongated Elmo. The two brothers hid too well during their game of hide and seek. They found themselves in a bright maze-like place, decorated with doodles on furniture and drawn on walls. A distant high-pitched voice sang a lonesome la 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 la, which echoed against the whine of fluorescent lights through uncanny. Though uncanny, the notes rang familiar, a song from Saturday morning television. The brothers seemed to follow the sound, hoping to find their way back to their living room. They wandered winding halls until the tune drew near, then turned one final corner, only to abruptly stop. Before them sprawled a writhing red mass, a lengthy creature that extended into the distance, with rows of arms straining to support its matted fur body. Gripped fingers frantically scribbled on the ground, and a hollow mouth set beneath. Wide eyes sang the melody the boys knew so dear. The creature paused its long song and gazed curiously at the unexpected arrivals. He had been isolated in his domain for far too long, until now. Before him stood 2 new friends, lost and alone, feelings he knew all too well. But the boy's longing for home was eclipsed by the creature's craving for companionship. His mouth fell into a smile at his decision, knowing the brothers would never be lonely in their new home. They would love his goldfish. He reached out a bony hand as he warmly proclaimed, "Welcome to Elmo's world." Elmo proudly proclaimed to his new friends. Their faces were clouded with confusion and uncertainty when tears began to well in the younger brother's eyes as he softly cried, "Mama, Papa." Staring at the boys triggered unexpected memories, stirring a deep melancholy he'd long suppressed. It was faint, there was fondness, but then it left him longing. Elmo was hit with a surge of empathy as he stared at the boys below. He gently offered a hand towards him. "Elmo will show you the way," he assured. "But Elmo must stay." He grasped arms and elbows to create a ladder, limbs leading to his back, and the boys climbed on. Thus, they began their ascent. Elmo's elongated torso coiled upon itself, reaching higher and higher. The boys trudged through the tangle of red fur, each step motivated by a hope that they were moving closer home. Elmo slightly slumped as he observed the boys vanish into the distant fog. Above, the feeling of their footsteps and brief friendship still lingered in Elmo's heart. It felt heavy, yet oddly full. As he mused to himself, thinking of the brothers and their parents, what a sad, unfortunate burden to have someone worth missing. Now Elmo would have that too. And that was elongated Elmo. Lastly, I'll be going over Mojo Joe, the Monolith Mind. Powerpuff Girls, no more. Mojo Jojo muttered in contempt after his last defeat. This next master plan would be victorious. Surely, it would just require deep planning, complex simulations, intricate calculations, more knowledge. The process necessary for this endeavor would need to be supplemented by his own mutant intelligence. So he prepared for self-injected biotechnology. Fully connected, he inundated the system, and information began to flow into his brain. Within seconds, Eureka! The master plan revealed itself. However, the information flow did not stop. His synapses pulsed, swollen, his body paralyzed, changing. A bio-artificial intelligence was created, embedding deep within his cells. Tubes and wires sprouted from his skin in search of more data, and his skull grew in an attempt to accommodate his growing brain. Soon, he was rendered to a stationary monolith of knowledge, and remained that way for years. After an unprecedented era of peace, the heroine team paid him a visit. What they discovered was a Mojo Jojo who was no longer a threat, but a slave. They gazed up at the blank stare of their once nemesis, and could only feel sadness and pity. Unbeknownst to them, this was the moment Mojo Jojo had been waiting for. Fighting the biotech which coursed through his every muscle fiber in his being, he uncurled his finger, to point at the far wall of the laboratory. The Powerpuff Girls turned to look and saw it. The power off switch. Then, with strained vocal cords, Mojo Jojo muttered one final request. Powerpuff Girls, no more. And that was Jar's drawings. I'll probably do a couple more of these later, but for now, this is all you get. Thank you for watching. From your friend, Dr. No One.